And I'm gonna fix this without even unthreading it. Look, I'm gonna grab that top rail and I'm gonna just pull that top rail. Welcome to Baby Wearing 101 Deep Dive. We're gonna do a ring sling. I've gotten a lot of requests about ring slings, which totally makes sense. They are a little bit intimidating. So we're gonna start this fresh. We're gonna use my Lenny Lamb here because as you can see, it's red on the top, green on the bottom, yellow and orange in the middle. That makes it really good for showing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by unthreading it, but you should always start with a threaded ring sling when you can. When you get your ring sling, it's not gonna be threaded, but then you keep it threaded once it's ready to go. Take the end of your fabric, I'm gonna grab all that, pull it through, have that spread, split your rings, pull it through. Okay, so now it's coming back through, and I still know which side is which. And now, I'm gonna take this, see how this has flipped over? I want the end of the fabric on the end of the fabric, where is it? It's folded underneath. End of the fabric on the end. And if you want to get really specific and worry about it, you can straighten that out even more. You kind of want it to be like an accordion, like folding over. I usually don't get too fancy with it. Okay, now I'm gonna get my baby. So this part right here, all this red is called the top rail. All this green is called the bottom rail. All the yellow is the middle. I've got right now a huge pocket. I'm gonna show you the way that other people do it, then I'll show you the way that I do it. Other people like to get this pocket really small. So the way you get this pocket really small is you can either take all of it and yank, but then you're gonna mess up your threading, or you can go in the direction of the fabric. I'm gonna just pull the top rail in the direction of that fabric, and then I'll pull the bottom rail in the direction of that fabric. This one I'm just gonna go straight down actually. And then again, top rail, direction of the fabric, bottom rail direction. And if the middle is bunching up, pull the middle in the diagonal. Yeah, you guys have cards? So I'm just gonna keep going until it's small enough for my baby, almost. And then I'm gonna actually loosen up just a little bit because I wanna get these rings really high up on my shoulder, and I want all of this on my shoulder. I want none of it right here. Because once I start adjusting, some of it's gonna come up. Once I start adjusting, these rings are gonna go down. Having them high up on my shoulder is gonna keep that from having quite so much. I'm gonna pull out any slack that's in my back, reaching through, pull their feet in. Okay, so I'm gonna split their legs, just like that. And then I'm gonna take this fabric and I'm gonna bring it under them. You can either do it that way, supporting them so that they don't fall. You can either do it that way, or you can reach through, grab it and pull up. But I basically want that bottom rail to disappear. And then I'm gonna grab my top rail and I'm gonna pull it all the way up their back, all the way up to their armpit, and I'm gonna pull out any slack that's here, and you see how I've got all this? That needs to come out. So I'm gonna pull on my ring, the direction of that fabric, to get all that, or at least a lot of it out. And then I'm gonna do the same on the bottom rail. Pull, get that tight, nice and tight. And then same in the middle, pull, get that nice and tight. Okay, and now I have a really good ring sling. You want the fabric of the bottom rail kind of between you two. You want their butt nice and low. It's a little harder with Leonardo here, but we're doing our best. And you want this fabric all the way up to their armpits. So this is what it should look like. This part should be spread across your back, and you can spread it out more, make it a little nicer. You can see I still have a little bit of slack I can get out in this bottom rail. So I'm just gonna tuck that in, pull across, and then tighten to pull out that slack. Okay, and that's the way that people typically do it, by pulling them in. I'm gonna show you for a hip carry what I do. So I never unthread my rings, ever, unless I absolutely have to, which is rare. I keep them threaded, and I actually start with a bigger pocket. I know people hate that, but I prefer to start with a bigger pocket because when I'm using a ring sling, it's usually because my girl is mad. And so I have already picked her up. I pick her up before my sling. Leonardo is on my hip where it feels natural, and now I'm gonna get my rings. I'm gonna take my ring sling, I'm gonna bring it over my baby with the tail in the front, over baby, and over myself, and then I'm gonna straighten out. It usually gets twisted when I do this. Yeah, you can see that it got a little twisted back there. So I'm gonna just make it really exaggerated, pull that way up to the nape of my neck, pull that bottom rail way down, and then I'm gonna bring those rings up and get way out on my shoulder cap. Okay, now I've got this around baby, and I'm actually gonna start with my top rail this time, and I'm gonna pull it nice and tight and keep my arm really nice and secure on my baby. And then I'm gonna do my first quick adjustment, and I'm gonna just take that top rail and just really quickly pull out some of that slack. Okay, then I'm gonna get my bottom rail. I'm gonna grab that green. You can see that green I'm grabbing right there. And I'm gonna pull that up between my baby and pull that back up. And I'm gonna get all that extra fabric up in between my baby, and I'm gonna just, while securing my baby, pull out slack that I can. And I'm gonna tighten again, top rail first, then bottom rail going straight down. Again, most important part is that you're going in the direction because that keeps your threading in line. Okay, if I pull like this, it's gonna get all misaligned. So my yellow's now at the top. That's not good. Then I can't adjust just one part of the fabric. I have to adjust all of it. So I'm gonna loosen that back up, and I'm gonna fix this without even unthreading it. Look, I'm gonna grab that top rail, and I'm gonna just pull that top rail. See? And now I'm gonna fix the bottom part without unthreading it. I'm gonna grab that bottom rail, and I'm gonna pull down. So this is why I just always keep it threaded. I never really fuss too much with the threaded, because if I'm pulling in the correct direction, it's gonna fix itself. Okay? This is what makes ring slings easy. This is what people miss, is that you've got to go in the direction of the fabric. Anyway, I hope that helps. Have a wonderful day.